You see that number for the price of oil on the news, right? But what does it actually mean? It seems like it should be simple, but the truth is, there isn't just one single price for oil. So how does a massive global industry agree on what this vital commodity is worth? Well, today, we're going to decode it.
And that's a really great question to start with. I mean, think about it. We have one price for an ounce of gold. Simple. But crude oil, it's a whole different ballgame. Oil from Texas isn't the same as oil from the North Sea or the Middle East. It's got different qualities, different transportation costs. It's a messy, physical reality. So how in the world does the market turn all of that complexity into an understandable price signal? Well, the market's answer is something we call a benchmark. You can think of it as a common language for the entire industry. It takes all that complexity, all the different oil types, the pipelines, the tankers, and it distills it all down into one shared reference price. It's the anchor point that the entire global oil market really revolves around. Okay, so to really get our heads around this, I want you to picture the global oil market like this giant, massive machine. And it's driven by three huge interconnected gears. Each gear is one of the major benchmarks, representing a key region and a specific type of oil. And they all have to turn in sync to keep the whole machine running smoothly. All right, let's kick things off with our first and honestly the most globally influential gear, Brent. This is the big one, the benchmark for the massive Atlantic basin, which covers Europe, Africa, and even parts of the Americas. So, let's look at what makes Brent tick. It represents light sweet crude, which is just a fancy way of saying the oil is less dense and has low sulfur, making it much easier to refine into things like gasoline. But its real superpower is its flexibility. Because Brent prices oil that travels by sea on tankers, it isn't tied down to a single pipeline or one location. It can go just about anywhere, and that gives it this incredible global reach. So you see, Brent isn't just some local price for oil from the North Sea. No, it's the go-to clearing price for the entire Atlantic basin. When a refinery in Spain is buying oil or a producer in Nigeria is selling it, they're pricing their deals based on Brent. This makes its price an absolutely crucial signal for a huge chunk of the world market. All right, let's shift over to our second gear, West Texas Intermediate, or as everyone calls it, WTI. This is the main benchmark for North America, and its story is just incredible. It's gone from being this landlocked price to a major global force.
Now, if Brent is all about the sea, WTI is all about the land. Its physical heart is this massive storage hub in a place called Cushing, Oklahoma, smack dab in the middle of the country. And that is its key trait. The price of WTI is directly tied to the physical reality of pipelines and, crucially, how much oil is sitting in those storage tanks in Cushing.
So, the price of WTI really tells a story about American logistics. But here's what makes it so important today. Because of the U.S. shale boom, WTI has become what traders call the marginal barrel. That just means its production can be ramped up or down way faster than other sources. And that sensitivity makes WTI this incredible early warning system for the entire global market. And that brings us to our third and final gear, the Dubai/Oman complex. And this one is absolutely critical because it's the benchmark for Asia, the world's largest and fastest growing region for oil consumption. Okay, so this is where things get really different. While Brent and WTI are light sweet, Dubai/Oman is medium sour. That means it's denser and has more sulfur. It's a bit tougher to refine, but here's the thing. The massive, super sophisticated refineries in Asia, they were built specifically to handle this exact type of crude. It's their bread and butter. But what's really fascinating about Dubai/Oman is how its personality is tied so deeply to national policy. Huge producers like Saudi Arabia actually use this benchmark to set their official selling prices for their biggest customers in Asia every single month. So it's not just reflecting the market, it's a powerful tool of national economic strategy. Okay, so we've got our three gears, right? Brent for the Atlantic, WTI for America, and Dubai for Asia. But here's the thing, they don't just spin on their own in isolation. They are locked together by this powerful force that basically ensures there's one global price. That powerful force is called arbitrage. Think of it as the connective tissue, the very glue of the market. The price differences between these benchmarks are what determine where millions of barrels of oil will physically move across the planet every single day, linking the whole system together. So what is arbitrage, really? It's pretty simple. It's when traders buy oil in a cheaper market and sell it in a more expensive one to make a profit. It sounds simple, but that act of chasing profit is what actually balances the entire global market.
It makes sure oil flows from where it's abundant to where it's needed most until the prices come back into line.
And you know, out of all the signals, the one that matters most, the one that traders watch like a hawk, is the price difference between Brent and Dubai. It's known as the East-West Spread, or EWS. This single number basically acts as the gatekeeper for all the crude oil moving between the Atlantic and Asia.
Let me show you how this actually works. It's so cool. If Brent crude gets way more expensive than Dubai, the window is closed. It just doesn't make financial sense to pay for shipping that oil all the way to Asia. But the moment that price gap shrinks, the window swings wide open. Suddenly it's profitable, and a flood of oil starts moving east. That simple price difference acts like a giant switch, directing the flow of global oil traffic.
So there you have it. These three gears, Britain, WTI, and Dubai, they're not just numbers on a screen. They create this incredibly dynamic, interconnected system for pricing the world's most important commodity. But, and this is key, this system is always changing as production centers shift and trade flows get rerouted. Which leaves us with a final, really big question. As the global energy map is redrawn, which of these benchmarks, or maybe a new one we haven't even seen yet, will be the one that defines the market of tomorrow?